Just a reminder, we do have timestamps. They will be in the description for each segment or topic that we talk about. So if you guys don't want to hear a certain part, you can skip ahead to any point you want in the podcast.
Warrior.
Welcome back to the One Stop Shop podcast. This is episode 3. This is Stu, and for Sims of James, we are here back, episode 3. How you feeling, Sims? How you feeling this week?
Burnt out.
Yeah, I got a lot of school, a lot of work, but you know what? That doesn't matter. That's really not why anybody's really burnt out. I'm sure at this point everybody's heard about the awful Spider-Man news. You know, we've been following that closely every day. Certain things have leaked here and there of people having rumors that things are settled, but as far as I'm concerned, it's not really settled yet. We just have to hope for the best. But aside from the Spider-Man news, there's a lot to look forward to coming up. So I think all in all, it was a pretty good week. Some other wrestling news: John Moxley's out of All Out, but Pac replaced him. Tune in next week; we'll have some more about AEW for you. But this week, I wanted to start by getting into some current events. Technically, week 0, what they call in college football, started this week. I think a lot of it plays into next week too, because I think next week's kind of early too, because I know Georgia never plays this early, and my Bulldogs have their first game next Saturday, August 31st. So I don't know if just this is week 0 and that's considered week 1, or if they're both just early weeks, because that allowed for Georgia to have 2 bye weeks in the season instead of 1. So I don't know. It's an early week. Tonight, the big game was Miami, Florida. And I'm not saying I'm saying Miami and Florida. So here was I seen that you were watching the game. You can add some comments if you want to about it. But my main takeaway was, if Florida wins, I wanted them to win, and to the point to where when they play Georgia, they're like, oh, Florida's a good team. And then Georgia just stomps them into the ground, and that makes us look even better. But I also just wanted them to lose because I hate them. So, how did you feel? You watched the game. Kind of came down to the last possession, didn't it?
Yeah. Even though, I'll say with Florida, even though they won, they don't look good at all to me. And just like watching them, because like the game was that close with Miami playing terribly. So I don't think even with them winning, it doesn't really make them look good. And I will say Miami had a chance to win. Like they didn't deserve to win that game at all. I think their team actually played like kind of terrible, except for like a few plays, a few like offensive plays that were good. But even like defense, like all those turnovers they got.
Yeah.
One of them, Frank's turn. I don't know what he saw. He threw it right to him. So like, I'm not giving you credit for that. And then 2 of them were like random fumbles. I think that like y'all really didn't do nothing with either. So like, and your offensive line is terrible. Oh my lord, they was too many turnovers. And yeah, if Miami would have won, it would have felt like they didn't earn it at all. Because like they were getting pass interferences, seeing it. Uh, yeah, it was just it was an exciting game. I don't think I've ever seen a worse offensive line before. Like they held every time. I was like, can you not block? Like, what did y'all practice all of like fall and summer and spring? Like, have you never worked on your blocking before? It was pitiful. They could not block. They were getting holding calls. Dude got sacked like 8 different times. He had to run out the pocket every single poor dude. Like they did not block. In the center on the very last play, you can guess who is to blame. The offensive line. The center messed up the snap, and so I was like, what? I've never seen a worse offensive line. If the offensive line didn't get so many penalties, Miami would have won that game. I've never seen that offensive line is terrible.
They did the first college game day today, and I want to give a shout out to his name just totally blanked out in my head, but Desmond, I forgot his last name, but you know Desmond, on the panel, he picked Georgia to win the national championship. So shout out to the boy. Thank you for the pick. We'll take it. And I wanted to make one more college football mention before we go on. So I seen you say the other day that Tennessee will be allowing alcohol sales. Y'all say coming up next season or this season?
This season, I think.
This season. Okay. Well, I came to the quick conclusion that y'all probably just doing that because y'all got to be drunk to enjoy y'all's games because y'all team's going to be losing so much that's the only way y'all about to enjoy some games is if y'all just are all hammered flat over there. So you enjoy that, and yeah, I just wanted to make mention of that real quick. You know, I had to get you real quick because I knew I was talking about Georgia a lot, so I figured something was coming. So I figured I'd go ahead and get my jab in there early. I watched in some more current news. Rewatched Endgame tonight. All the exciting scenes are still exciting, of course. I didn't cry. I think I might be over that stage. He almost got me with the whole little "I love you 3000" saying it back in the little hologram thing. That almost got me. But we got the 4K disc or whatever it is with the extra stuff. So I watched all the deleted scenes. I watched they did like a Stan Lee tribute. That was really cool. And yeah, I would recommend going and getting it if anybody hasn't got it. And if you haven't seen it, then I don't know what you're doing at this point. But yeah, you know, my dad rewatched. Well, he didn't rewatch them. He watched them for the first time. We rewatched some of them with him, and he's on Far From Home now. He just got to watch Far From Home, then he's caught up with everybody else. So that's cool. I don't know how we're gonna. He's gonna have to wait a little bit for Far From Home. It's still in some theaters, but I don't know if we're gonna go to a theater and see it. But you got any comments about that? Because I'm just kind of rolling through some current events right now. I don't want to cut you off on anything.
No, the game's good. Good movie.
And I wanted to make mention of. We kind of started the podcast a little bit late tonight, but I think it's for the better because we actually have some breaking news out of the NFL that we probably wouldn't have got to if it didn't pop up before we started. Have you seen the NFL news?
Yeah, it's kind of old now. It's been out. It was out during the Miami game.
What?
Andrew Luck.
Oh yeah. Andrew Luck. He's retiring. I guess I didn't read the article or anything. I guess it's just injury. I guess it's him wanting to protect himself, I guess, because he's had a lot of injuries. He's never really. He had like one good season, but he's never really got that momentum that everybody thought he'd have. He's been injury plagued, so it's probably just he felt the need, I guess, to call his career. But I'm sure it will continue in broadcasting or some form like that, commentating. I'm sure, but you hate to see somebody. I mean, everybody has their teams that they cheer for, but injuries and stuff suck for anybody. They're, but best of luck to him, whatever he does. Any comments on NFL or anything going? Any preseason comments?
Yeah, with Andrew, he said it was kind of sad because like he got hurt before, and I think he said he had to like practice hurt or something. And he said that if he ever came like to that crossroads again, that he would choose himself instead of that, because he said he was in a cycle of just injury and rehab and injury and rehab.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not a Colts fan. I used to be when Peyton was there, but then he left, so I wasn't. But yeah. Andrew Luck was always fall. So.
Right. I mean, I'm a Falcon fan. Everybody knows the teams I go for, but like, still just injury in general. You don't want to see anybody have an injury. But
I think they had just got a good offensive line too. I think he would have made his fifth Pro Bowl this year. He's already got 4. I think he would have made his 5th if he stayed healthy. He has a good offensive line, but I don't know. I could see him come back in the future, maybe.
Yeah.
Because he was only in the league since 2012. He could easily take a couple years off and come back.
All right, into our next segment now. If you see our cover or background screen for this one, you already knew this was coming. So Sims had this idea of us doing a top 5 presidents all time, each of us choosing 5. So you want to do these tick for tack, or you give all your 5? Or okay.
5, and then I go 5.
I want to make mention before we start this. My picks, we're not on here to be a political channel and get everybody fired up about nothing. Our picks are our picks, and that doesn't necessarily mean we're doing it just because of political views. Like some of these guys I got on my list is like just for random reasons. Honestly, it's just like because I had never thought about my favorite presidents until this, so it's not like I was looking at everybody's details. I just like some more than others, so don't think it's all on my side. Don't think it's all. I'm sure Sims is the same way. Don't think it's all political. Like we're trying to start some political debate on here. Politics always get the people going. So go ahead and start with your number 5.
My number 5 is Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
I picked Abe because Abe kind of felt like a wrestler to me. Abe, I'll say it in this sense. First, he was really tall. Like, I don't know how tall he was. I forgot how tall he was. But I think he's really tall. So, that was one reason. And then, also, he had his own, like when you think of Abe, you think of that hat. Like, that man had his own signature hat. I don't know if I've ever seen a president have his own, attire. Like that, you see that hat, you're like, oh, that's Abe's hat. And then he had that gimmick. I swear one time I heard that like Abe never lied or something. There's some gimmick that man was all about honesty. I don't know how true it was. Because, yeah, I haven't read the man, but yeah, like somebody that already has like a certain style with them, like tall, and then you got your own hat, and then you got like this whole gimmick of I don't lie. Honest Abe, didn't they call him that? Honest Abe.
Yeah, I think is what they call him.
So,
not to mention
that was that.
Not to mention like his. Oh, go ahead if you're not done with him.
I was gonna say he also he issued the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah.
So that definitely slid him in the 5 spot for me.
So I want to make mention that a lot of my picks come from the help of a college professor that I had for like 3 years in a row. Well, not 3 semesters in a row, and I had like these like U.S. histories from like 1877, and then I had like after 1877. So it was like a U.S. history split into 2 years or two sections. And this dude, like, the teacher was really passionate about everything he did, and like he really knew stuff that like I talked to you about this before that one time I came and visited you at your school. Like, dude knew like what type of toothbrush Abe Lincoln used. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just knew that type of stuff that like I don't know how nobody would know that. You know what I'm saying? he enlightened me on a lot of stuff. So for that reason, a lot of my picks and stuff like that are kind of based off what he taught me about these people. So my number 10 is Dwight Eisenhower. Now I know what you're saying. Dwight Eisenhower. There's a lot of other options. Well, let me tell you what Eisenhower did. Now this man was like a general in World War II. And like right after World War II, dude had got like medals and like medals of honor and stuff. And he ran for president. And like back then, basically, if you ran for president after you had been in like the service, you were almost like a shoe-in because like you served your country and like you're a leader already. And he did a lot. Like, this was like fresh out of like, when did World War II end? It was like in the 40s, and 54 is when he was elected, I think. So it wasn't too many years after. Probably the president, I think it was the president right after Truman. Truman was during World War II, so it was right after him. Anyways, dude was just like, he was a good general, and he had this strong will about him, and just kind of led them into when the Cold War kind of happened. He was a big leader and handling some of those situations. So to that point, to me, is why I'm putting Eisenhower at number 5. And I learned a lot about him from my teacher. So
I didn't expect Eisenhower.
yeah, I got someone here you might not expect. Okay, go ahead.
My number 4 is Nixon. Now, my initial, actually, Abe was somebody I had to think. He was the 5th person. I didn't know who my 5th was, but the rest of these have always been like, not always, but like they've been my favorites when it came up. Nixon became my favorite, one of my favorites in 10th grade, I think. 1 grade. Well, I had Miss Erickson for history class. World history or U.S.? I think it was U.S. history. Something. And she had, we learned like about so many presidents in there, and like, she showed us that little hand motion Nixon did, the little 2 peace signs. And I was like, dang, that's kind of fun. Nixon got his own jester. I was like, dang, that's soft. And so that was the only reason I liked him. But then I watched Legends of Tomorrow, and in one of the episodes, they have to. Now I'm about to say this. It's a spoiler, but like it's not really a spoiler. It's just like the theme of the episode. So. But they had to go get Nixon because like he had taken some type of serum that made him tell the truth. But like Nixon was known for lying. So like because he was telling the truth all the time, he was like messing up everything, and like the government was like about to go crazy. So like they had to like kidnap him and all this stuff, and it just showed that like not saying he should have lied, but just like what would happen if he didn't lie. It was just some crazy stuff in there. So yeah, that's not for. It's mainly just because of the hand motion. Except just for that main reason. I'm doing it right now.
So, yeah. All right. My number 4 is Jimmy Carter. Now, there is one specific reason why I have Jimmy Carter on this list. I think my teacher had said like he had met him one time, and so I thought that was kind of cool. He met him at like a Waffle House. But the real reason is why I got this man on my list is because he's the only president from Georgia ever. So lives in Georgia. Well, he passed away, but he lived in Georgia. He had his retirement home in Georgia. He only president from Georgia, and you know how I feel about Georgia. So yeah, Jimmy's coming in at number 4. I don't know. Like I feel like what I have seen from my class and things, based off all the presidents. Like sometimes we watch some videos, and dude just kind of seemed like he was like an easygoing guy. You know what I'm saying? Like even in a time of crisis, a president is supposed to like keep his cool, but like Jimmy Carter was just cool all the time. Like dude, like never raised his voice or nothing. Dude was just like, yeah, and we got this going on, and I was just like, you know what? That's a down home Southern Georgia boy right there as president. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I got Jimmy at number 4. That man, he's from Georgia, only president from Georgia.
Yeah, makes sense you put him on there since you like Georgia so much. It's not. I didn't know what this was gonna be, but hearing that is not surprising because he's from Georgia.
The only one so far. Until I run.
3. Okay. For 3, I got Reagan. Now I always liked Reagan also. But I'm gonna give you the supplemental reason. This is why he's ahead of Nixon. It was really tough to get these in order, but I put him ahead of Nixon because I had to kind of really think for the extra reason for Nixon with the Legends of Tomorrow show.
Yeah.
And with Reagan, I was like, the man had the Reaganomics. How do you get a whole economy thing named after you? You got to be fine. If you name something after you like that and it's catchy, you got to be fine. So that pushed him over the edge. But the main reason was, which I think I heard it. I don't know where I heard it, but it's that speech he's given where he's like, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall," and like it's one of those things that like when it's better when like you just remember it and you don't go watch it because like it's not that hype when you watch it.
You're talking about
when you say it, it's fine.
You're talking about
I can just imagine just Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. That's just fun.
You talk about the I'm the captain now.
Yeah, just like that.
Have you ever seen Captain Phillips where that what the pirate dude goes, look at me, I'm the captain now. We laughed about that in like weight training one time for like 30 minutes, and we watched the actual video. It's not funny at all, but it was hilarious the way we were saying it. But yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just reminded me of that.
That's just what it's like. Because I just watched it earlier. Because I used to thought it said. I thought it said tear down this wall, Gorbachev. I was like, really? So I looked it up a while back, and I really didn't say that. And then when I was putting my list together, I was like, damn, which way did he say? I already forgot. So I had to look it up again. I mean, it was kind of fun, but yeah, the main reason is he told Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. So all right, that earned you the 3 spots.
So my number 3 is going to be George W. Bush, the son, not the dad. Because we're 20 years old. We haven't lived through that many presidents yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, were we born when Bush was already president, or was that like the end of Clinton? I mean, it don't make no difference.
The election was in 2000.
Oh, it was? So, I mean, we got like 6 months of Clinton, but we were infants, so I guess you can say we were born during his presidency. If that's the case, 4. We've been through 4 presidents. If you don't want to count him, 3. But like, the ones that we've lived through, we've got to experience what is going on while they're presidents. And I don't really remember a lot about Bush because this was like elementary school years. But I remember we watched this video in like at Clear Creek where those big old box TVs are like hung from the darn ceiling. I forgot who the teacher was, Miss Gilmer or something, but she like turned it on, and like it was some Bush video, and I think it might have been the one we literally just talked about this yesterday because somehow it came up in the Spidey conversation.
What you're about to say is incorrect. I looked it up. It wasn't him.
Okay, that's not him. Then that's not what I'm thinking about then. But he said something in this video that like I was like, oh, and I'm pretty sure at the time I wasn't like paying attention at all. I'm pretty sure that's the first time I realized that like America had a president. Cause like I was like in elementary school, so like I was not aware of like current events. And she put on the TV and was like, yeah, this is our president. This was his most recent speech. And I was like, president? Who is this Bush guy? And I was like, oh, that's our president. And so like I don't know, maybe he's the first president I noticed, and he's been the president like the whole first part of my life. So I felt like that was a comfortable spot for him at number 3, just because he's been in my life. Like I went through that when I was a young kid.
I don't really remember nothing about Bush.
Even though I thought he was the one who said what. Then who said the thing we were talking about yesterday?
It wasn't even a president. It was like
oh,
let me see. I can. It's right here.
What was the quote though?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Paul Bremer, 2003, December 14th. It's when they captured Saddam Hussein.
Oh, okay. I knew it had something to do with like Iraq or something. I think Bush was president when we released they released the hostages back to us. When they had the American hostages and like, and you gotta have sympathy for the guy because like literally the year after he was president, like 9/11 happened, and like I can only imagine being the leader of the country that just got like attacked by terrorists. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the heck do you do? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of. But anyways, he's my number 3.
Okay. Now this number 2 be my number one. Because in terms of, I'll just say who my number two is. I got Clinton at number two. I love Bill. Bill Clinton is hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay. First off, my initial Bill Clinton's my favorite president came once again in Miss Erickson's class. And every time she would ask a question, like, which president did this? I didn't know the answers. I didn't know anything. But every time I said Bill Clinton, and every time I was right. I don't know how. So that's where it started. And then, I'd already heard I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I'd already heard that. But then I took a summer class, and my political science teacher, he was so cool. He was talking about Bill Clinton one day, and he was like, he's like, Bill should have been a lawyer. He shouldn't have been the president. And then he had said
he should have been a what?
Say what?
He should have been a what?
A lawyer.
A lawyer. Oh, okay.
Yeah, not a president. And then he said the quote of when he says, "It depends on what the meaning of the word is." I had never heard that to that point. I said, "Dang, how did he get his way out of that one?" I said, "Dang, Bill was slick." Because that's really he really just said a bunch of nothing, but it kind of makes you think like, oh wait, I mean, is like I don't know, that was fun.
Dude.
So you know what?
No, just go ahead. I'll say it in a minute.
So that's really it. I mean, you can't give me two better quotes than. And I just watched the video today to see what he said. He's like, I want to say this again. I did not have sexual. Listen, you're a lying figure. Oh my! I ain't never seen somebody lie better than that. Oh my gosh! He said, I've never had nobody lie. He said, I need to focus. I was like, this man says, y'all need to stop talking about this. Oh, Bill's amazing. I love Bill Clinton.
I was gonna add in there. I think every president in the history of presidents has talked with their hands. Think about it. I think they all use, because every speech or anything that I can think of, whoever the president was, they were flinging their hands like crazy. I think it's true.
That depends on what the meaning of the word is.
I guarantee.
What does that even mean?
I guarantee you, he threw up his hands when he said that.
Oh no! The funny part is, this is the funniest part. Is as soon as he said that, I could almost see the smirk in his face. Him being like, "What are you going to say now?" Because if he would have said it to me, I'd have been like, I don't know. What does that mean? Oh snap! He said, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman." I said, "Dang, it was amazing."
Well, my number two is Trump. Now, I know Trump is our president currently, and he's probably like the most controversial figure in American history. But if you really look back, I think a lot of people, I think it's just like you hear the name Trump, and then you just start like your mind just starts going like 100 miles an hour, like everything that's been said and done with that name and that person. But there's two reasons why I got him at number two. One, this was the first president I got to vote. Like I got to take part in the voting. I felt like special. I felt like I was like, oh yeah, I'm an adult.
How did you vote and I didn't vote?
Oh,
you were not. You were not old enough to vote.
Oh no, I voted for the governor.
Oh my gosh.
But we
I said,
will.
wait a minute. How did he vote and I didn't?
Well, technically, he'll still be the president when we vote again. So.
But your point of you vote. When did you vote for him? I'm confused.
Okay, no, maybe I didn't vote for him, but I thought I did.
You didn't.
I thought I did.
Maybe.
I thought I was 18 already. I might not have been 18 yet. But the next thing is,
You weren't.
and this is what I say to like I'm all. I think me and you talked about this before. You can have a conversation. Like I don't understand why people can't do this. And whether you're Republican or Democrat, people should be able to have a conversation about Republican and Democrats without like yelling at each other. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like people should be able to talk to each other and like
Unless you lie about if you voted for a president or not. I can't stand people that do that.
Well, no, I'm not. That's a whole other level. I don't know what you've been through in your past. And then started bringing up some.
You just lied.
No, I forgot that I didn't. I thought I did. I thought I voted.
Oh, I was so confused.
Anyways. But if you can look past the title of Republican and Democrat and look at what presidents have done right now, currently, the economy is really good, and Trump has made like, what was the number? It's like 157 million jobs he's created in America since he's been president. And that's really good because unemployment's down, like big time down. So if there's a lot of controversy around the man, but he's actually doing a pretty good job. Like it's set out against him because like everything you hear about Trump, it's gonna be somebody's gonna be saying something controversial about him just because that's the figure he has above his head now is this controversial president guy. But he also was in WWE for a while when WWE was fine. And like he like shaved Vince's head, and that's before we knew he would like even do presidential things. But like back then, I was on his side against Vince too because I don't think anyone's ever liked Vince. Vince is probably like the best heel in the company's history. So I got him at number 2.
That's not surprising either. Let's see, the two that weren't surprising so far were Carter and Trump. I don't remember who else you picked besides Eisenhower, to be honest.
Just
the other person?
Bush.
Oh yeah, Bush. Yes. Yeah, Trump and Carter weren't surprising. Especially because I think I've never heard you talk about it, Carter Trump. I've heard you talk about Trump before, so that's not surprising.
And for the number 1 picks, who you got it.
For my number 1, I have.
I bet you I know who it is. I'm just saying. You said mine weren't. Some of mine were predictable. And I'm pretty sure I know who your number 1 is. But go ahead.
I have our former president, number 44.
Yeah, I'm not
44?
sure. Let me see.
43rd?
I think it was 3rd.
I have Barack Obama. I'll just say his name. I don't say what number it was. I have Obama. If you want like the cool reasons, like the random reasons.
Oh, never mind. It was 44 because Trump's 45.
Oh, 44.
Okay.
Some of the random reasons is like to hear people impersonate him is hilarious. Like, and they've done a few. Key and Peele has done a few sketches on Obama.
Yeah.
Like there's one when he was back in back in college, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. There's one with like his anger translator, and like Obama actually one time during one of his speeches he actually used the anger translator dude, which was so cool. He actually used like Keegan. Yeah, he actually used Keegan on. He was so cool. It might have been. I don't know what it was. It was something. Another random reason. Oh, and also that was that's like my first whenever that election was happening. That was like my first hearing of presidency. Really, that's all. I don't really remember anything about Bush. I just remember like when Obama was running. That's when I really. I guess I don't know if we realized we had a president, or that's when I started to hear about it. I don't know. But the main reason was for a lot of people that who like people like my grandma and even my mom, my uncles, my dad, people like them, especially my grandma because she's really old. For her, it was like she never thought in like her life. I think she's like 76 or something. She never thought she'd see like a black president, and so like to see like how amazing that made like how happy she is about that, and then like when you see like it gives. I think it's important to have role models that you can like relate to, and that you can like see that. So they look like me. Like look where they're at. So like for like the little kid who like sees like, at that time that like there was a black president, it's like dang, I could be a president now. Like that dude looks just like me. It's like to see somebody of your that like you can relate to when you're little, it can really influence you. So I know like a lot of people that would definitely be like a pivotal moment for them growing up. So yeah, I got Obama at one.
My number one. Now I'm gonna have to give you some history on this one. Is Ronald Reagan. Now, I've seen a bunch of like. This also goes back to my class with my teacher. He gave a lot of like good insight and like history on him. But there's really I've heard like that everybody liked Reagan. Like he won by like a landslide. Like I've heard that he's like one of the most liked ones that ever has happened. And I mean that's cool and all, but let me tell you why I really got this man number one. Let me take you back to Clear Creek Elementary School. Let me take you to that little. They put all the kids in the cafeteria. You gotta dress up like somebody, and the parents come around and tap your hand, and you have to like spit off some facts about the person you are through like memorization. You know what I'm talking about? Who are you?
Arthur Ashe.
Okay, I was Ronald Reagan. Now, why did I pick Reagan back then? I have no idea. But I learned a lot about that dude. And like I gave a lot of fact. Like looking back, I don't know how I memorized all that stuff about that man. But like I was Ronald in that little thing we did. So that's really why I got him number one. And honestly, I mean, I all the accomplishments he did was pretty cool too. But like, I technically was that man, so I'll never forget it because like they also put us in alphabetical order, and so my last name Abernathy is like A B and then E. So like I'm usually in the front of like every line and crap like that. And so I was literally the first kid, like when somebody walked into the cafeteria. And so like I don't know, I'll just never forget that. Like I had on this like suit and I was just Ronald Reagan. And it was that's why I got him at number one.
I didn't. I didn't expect Reagan
Yeah.
as number one. I didn't have next. I didn't have an expectation. Nobody really had no. I didn't know who you were gonna pick.
I didn't.
The only person I've heard you talk about is so. But then when you said Carter, I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't make sense. Other than that, I had no idea who was gonna be on your list.
Oh well, I didn't know any of yours except I figured Obama would be number one. I figured he'd be number one, and for like the same reason as like I've heard you talk about him, like, and I've never heard you talk about the other ones. So I had no idea what your other ones would be. But with that being said, go ahead.
I was gonna say for the I had an honorable mention. I was gonna have Bush on there.
The dad
because
or the son?
No, the son. I don't know. What is the dad on? I don't know nothing about that.
He was before
I
Clinton.
was gonna do it.
He was before Clinton.
Yeah, well, I know that because Clinton was right before Bush, obviously.
Yeah.
I was gonna have him because I've heard this one dude, Arius Spears. He's a comedian. I don't know if anybody knows him. He's really funny. I heard him do an impersonation of Bush, and it's hilarious. And then just like, I originally thought Bush was the one that said we got him, but it wasn't, so I couldn't use that. But then just the whole idea that people have of Bush did 9/11 is so crazy to me. It doesn't make any sense. So, that was, I mean, just because like I hear that all the time. But he didn't make my list.
Huh.
But I thought, I don't. Let's see. I don't know what was. I can't remember your list anymore. But mine, in terms of like Democrat to Republican, mine was like you can't really have an even number unless you somehow picked which I don't think there's been one. What's the third party?
Independent. Yeah, independent. I don't think there's ever been a.
Yeah, so like there's no way you could have had an even draw, but mine was as even as you get. I got 3-2. I don't know what was Jimmy a Republican?
What are mine? Actually, I don't
I don't know what Jimmy is.
I don't really know.
I know Reagan and Trump. Oh, it's just 3.
Eisenhower. Oh yeah, no. Jimmy was a Democrat.
What was Eisenhower?
Republican. So I think so. I will say this though. It's not 100% accurate because like I've talked to my teacher before and like it's not 100% like it's not a complete 180 turnaround. Like I'm not saying Republicans used to be Democrats and Democrats used to be Republican because it's not like that. It is. I've talked to my professor about it. Like I think Lincoln was considered a Republican, but like his views was modern day Democrat views. You know what I'm saying?
So I think a better way to see it is you could go maybe conservative and liberal.
Okay, yeah. Like it's people who are considered Republicans now, back then were considered more liberal. and liberal, like it was almost the opposite, but it's really not because the government was different and like things were different. But the way it is now, of course, there's completely two different sides. But like back then, it really was like almost opposite. From what I like, what I think I know. I don't know.
So I think still looking at it that way might still do it too.
My teacher, my professor explained it, but like I don't know. I don't really remember what he said, but yeah. So you guys let us know your top 5 presidents if you want to. Let us know. Say something about them, why you like them, why you don't like somebody, I guess. Whatever we want to do. You got any last comments about the president, Sims?
Well, I just want to say, it depends on what the meaning of the word is. What does that even mean? Oh my gosh.
I don't understand why he said is twice though.
No, because he's saying it like he's saying like it depends what the definition of the word is.
Oh.
Is that's the that's the part that makes sense to you.
So he's asking him to
just
tell him.
It don't make sense.
Yeah, but technically, if you're trying to make sense of it, he's saying, "What does the word is mean?"
Yeah, but he just wanted to say it to where it would trip y'all up.
I'm pretty sure.
He put his lawyer speak on right there.
I'm pretty sure people who go to like, I don't know if you can go to school for politics. Can you do that, or is it like called something else?
Law school or like politics specifically?
I don't know, but anyways, all those people, I feel like in school they specifically learn how to like not answer a question, but like answer it in a smart way where like they're really not answering it. You know what I'm saying?
I think Clinton actually went to law school, if I'm not mistaken.
It's because like yeah, he might have, but like every presidential debate you hear, if they really don't want to answer the question, they don't just say, I'd prefer not to answer that. They say something like super smart with like a bunch of big words, and it just like totally throws you off track. Like if they say something like, "What is your views on like whatever," and like they don't want to answer it, and
you just didn't want to name something to get people riled up.
No, I honestly couldn't think of nothing like off the top of my head.
Climate change is a good one.
Okay, climate change, yeah. Yeah, what's your views on climate change? Well, the world is a perfectly round spinning globe, and the globe is just what it is, and it's great. And it's like they just don't answer the question. They just don't answer, and it's like, what do you think about climate change? Well, I'll be great as president. It's like, okay, cool, but you didn't answer the question. I've heard like everybody do that at least once.
I know it probably sounded like Obama was trying to come up with stuff a lot. If he would know you do all that extra noise, I'm like, it sounds like you're just trying to come up with stuff right now. And he'd be stuttering. I'm like, oh
man. Oh gosh. All right, so now switching gears, I wanted to make one more mention of a sports thing. Atlanta United, my 5 stripes, they won the Campeones Cup, first MLS team to win that cup. So congratulations to Atlanta. Shout out to y'all, the defending champs. Now we're gonna move on to pass or pay. I got another one here for you, Sims. I'm gonna be answering them too, but I feel like you know a whole lot more. Not a whole lot, because you claim I don't know nothing about basketball, but I do. So it's more your area of expertise, but I do know this stuff. So this pass or pay has to do with NBA teams. Now, it's not necessarily championship teams, like they might not have won the title, but what it is specifically is two teams that there's a really cool basketball website called Land of Basketball. I found it and I've been like looking at a lot of their stuff. Uh, they have this thing on there that is NBA team comparisons, and it's like they take two teams that were like almost had an identical similar season to each other. Like it's some of them are like freaky close. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pass or pay each of these comparisons on which team we would take. If the team is like too old, like, and you really just don't know nothing about them, you can pick who you like. You can pick who. You can just pick the other team. Pick whatever you want. But there's really no rules or regulations on which team you pick and why. Just out of the compared team, and I can give you stats on why they're so close in comparison on each one. I can give you stats because they're stats, but just pick your team that you would take. Pass or pay. You got me.
Yep.
All right. So I think there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 18. So this first one is a very dominant team. We're gonna have them on here quite a few times. Actually, these first 6 have the team in it, but the other team is I guess teams that they matched up with throughout the years. So if you need stats on them, if you want to know more about their comparison, let me know. The 1996 Chicago Bulls and the 2016 Golden State Warriors.
And I'm picking who I think would win, right?
No, you're picking which team you'd pass or pay on. Just like which one you liked better, which one you thought was a better team, cooler, I guess, which one you like better. If you need some stats on them, the Bulls won the championship, and this year the Warriors did not win the championship.
Yeah, I knew that.
But their records, they were number one in each of their conferences. They 72-10 was the Bulls record. 73-9 was the Warriors record. They had very similar winning streaks.
I'm picking who I think. Who am I picking? Who I like? Or who I think would win?
Either one. No, I mean, you can.
Okay,
there's no rules.
Pass or pay.
Yeah, there's no rules. I'm taking the Bulls.
I'm passing on. I'm passing on the Bulls. I'll pay on the Warriors.
You'll pay on the Warriors, even though the Bulls were the team that won the title that year.
I don't like the Bulls. I don't like the Bulls. I don't like Michael Jordan really.
I was about to say, really, this man is picking the Warriors. This man hates the Warriors, but I forgot Michael Jordan was on the team. So,
but this is the Warriors team. This is the team LeBron beat won. But it's not even that. This was the Warriors. Any team that matched up with LeBron, I didn't like you. Like when we matched up against the Pacers and he was on the Heat over and over, I did not like the Pacers. I couldn't stand Paul George. And then he matched up with the Spurs. I didn't like them. Any team does that, I don't like you. So I didn't like the Warriors, but that was only for that reason. But then like KD went there, and that's when I really can't stand them. So this is before then, so I didn't even hate them yet. And they were a really good team.
It's okay. All right. So I would take the 96 Bulls because I think Jordan is the best of all time player, and they got the ring. They got the ring compared to the Warriors team that did not. So the next one is 96 Bulls versus 97 Bulls. Now, they both got the title in their year. The record was worse for the 97 Bulls. It was 69-13. The 96 Bulls was 72-10. But every other stat is basically the same stat almost.
Who did they play in one of the years? Who did they play? Or who did they face in the finals both years?
So,
Was it the Jazz on one of them? Or is that the Jazz was the last one, wasn't it? That would have been 98.
you're really going to ask me. You're going to ask me the question that I don't have the answer to on here.
It don't matter. It really don't matter because I don't care for it. I'll probably pick. I'll pick 97. I'll pay on 97.
Any reason on that one?
1 year closer to Jordan being gone. I don't know.
I'm going to go.
His reign is almost over. He only has one more after that, so it's closer than having two more after that.
Okay. So, well, I would go with 97 because he was able to get another one, and it's like, oh, not a lot of people, even if they do get one ring, not many of them get multiple rings. So that's just another year, another ring for them. Which I'm a Hawks fan through and through, so I don't think I'm a Chicago fan. I'm most definitely not. I'm a Hawks fan, but once again, this is just passerby. So 97, I'll pay on 97 as well. So now we go 96, 98. Same philosophy for me. That's another ring. I'm going 98.
Yeah, I'll go 98 too. Because I think that is the one where he beat the
And
Jazz.
you didn't like the Jazz, or that was just his last year, so you were happy?
There you go.
Okay.
The reign has ended.
We got three more with the Bulls. I told you these first six are going to have the same 96. Anyways, but we got an old head team coming out now to face them. So I just want to update. First off, I went with the 96 Bulls. You went with the Warriors. We both went 97 Bulls. We both went 98 Bulls. 96 Bulls or the 1972 LA Lakers. Bulls had the better record, but they both got a championship that year. Season MVP was, of course, Michael Jordan for the Bulls. Finals and season MVP. The finals MVP for the Lakers was Wilt Chamberlain, and they didn't they didn't have the MVP of the season, but Wilt Chamberlain got the finals MVP. Jerry West, of course, was on the team.
Oh. Yeah, I'll take the Lakers. Because this is the one that Jerry won. Because he only has one ring. So this is his one ring. So I'll take Jerry.
Yeah.
I'll pay on the Lakers.
That was Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, Gail Goodrich, Jerry West.
Oh, I'll especially pay if Gail was on there. Gail, my roommate in Kennesaw used to light me up with Gail Goodrich on 2K. Good Lord. Yeah, I'll pay for the Lakers. I'll pass on the
Bulls. I will go with the Lakers as well because I honestly had to pick the Bulls in the first one. I really don't like them. So I know I think Michael himself is probably the best of all time, but as a team, I just they have this history about them that I just don't like. So yeah, give me the 7-2 Lakers on that one as well. Pay the 96 Bulls and the 2000 Lakers.
That's easy. I'll take the 2000 Lakers. I actually think I actually think they would. I could see them winning, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
O'Neal got the season and finals MVP. Kobe, of course, was on the team.
I don't know who's guarding. Nobody's stopping Shaq.
You got to think there's Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. I mean, they do got this whole '96 Bulls. This was a crazy team.
Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant. Who else on that team? Is Fox on the team yet? Or is Fox not making it? Fisher there? Yeah.
Dang. Either. Let me just read you this real quick. Every stat that this 2000 team got is either Shaq or Kobe. Nobody else on this team had leading stats. It goes points, Shaquille O'Neal. Rebounds, Shaquille O'Neal. Assist, Kobe. Steals, Kobe. And blocks, Shaquille O'Neal. Nobody else even mattered on the team, I don't think.
Ori might have been there. I know Robert Ori.
If you want to know, we had. Okay, all it's giving me is literally the stats of those two. Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. Glenn Rice, Ron Harper, Rick Fox, Derek Fisher, Tyronn Lue, Horry Green, Shaw. Yeah, that's good enough.
Brian Shaw. Yeah, I'll take the Lakers.
All right, give me the Lakers, too, because once again, I don't know if they could beat them. Honestly, I don't know if they could beat this Bulls team, but I like them better. So you get a pass for me. And the last one with the '96 Bulls, you can breathe over there a little bit because I already know who the heck you're picking on this one. I really don't even have to read it. '96 Bulls, 2013 Miami Heat.
Ooh, that you messed up getting me that LeBron. That's I'm angry LeBron. I just won a championship the year before LeBron, and I'm about to win another one. Yeah, I'll take the Heat. Oh, because we have Mike Miller, we have Ray Allen, we have Shane Battier, Udonis Haslem, Norris Cole, Mario Chalmers. I ain't even mentioned Wade or Bosch yet. Golly, we had Birdman, Chris Anderson. Oh my gosh, we were deep as mess. I know I already said Mike Miller, but I gotta say Mike again. Mike was clutch as mess.
Well, this team plagued Atlanta, so screw them. Give me the '96 Bulls. So, we actually have 2 different and 4 the same right now. So now we're going to switch it up a little bit, but not really, because we have the 2013 Heat again, but they're versing the 2014 Spurs.
You could have just go away. This is basically these are the 2 teams that met in the finals both those years. So it's like basically the same exact teams.
Right, but they went. One of them won one year, the other one won the other year.
Yeah, so you can't even base 2-1.
So who you got? Now I know you got LeBron over there, but I know you like that Spurs team too. So
no, because that only. No, I don't.
You don't like that Spurs team.
At the time, I didn't like them. I like the Spurs. Like they're fine. I didn't like them then. They're facing 2 years in a row. It's basically a rivalry now.
Looking back though, hey, looking back, all beef aside.
The team is fine. Yes, yeah.
You got Tony, you got Kawhi, you got Tim, you got Ginobili. Basically, everybody who's ever been on the Spurs, just the same for years and years and years and years.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the 2013 Heat specifically because because the 2013 Heat and the 2014 Heat are two different people. Because Wade was starting to diminish at that point. He wasn't the same.
Well, 2014 Heat wasn't on the list.
I know. I'm just saying in terms of who the Spurs faced that year in the finals. They faced the 2014, and they beat them, I think, in 5 games. They didn't face the 2013 Heat, which is a different story. So I'm going to take the 2013 Heat over the 2014 Spurs.
Okay. I'm going to take the Spurs. So, this one right here is literally the same year, but I guess it was such a just years of rivalry, I guess, that they just had to put them together anyways. So we had the 2016 Cavs versus the 2016 Warriors. Now you know which team got the final, but I think this year was almost a shock that they beat the Warriors because their record did not look like they were going to beat the 73-9 Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Then in this 2016 year. It's basically the finals matchup. Who we really don't even have to ask you, but
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think I actually caught up with the Warriors yet and actually paid attention to them. So I don't know how I felt about their team and their 72 wins prior.
Well, if you're watching LeBron, you're going for LeBron. I mean,
yeah, no, I'm just saying I don't know how I felt about how good I thought they were.
If I remember 2016, I'm pretty sure you hated the Warriors.
But that was just a hate for a rival. I hadn't started to hate them. That's when they got KD.
But they didn't have KD.
Actually, because the year before, I was kind of upset because the year before in 2015 when LeBron lost, but oh my God, LeBron lost, but we didn't have Kyrie or Kevin Love. Our second best player was Matthew Dellavedova. Oh my gosh. I kind of was upset about that because everybody want to keep talking about that.
This team didn't have KD yet.
Yeah, I know. So there wasn't my I can't stand y'all. Yet.
Why did you hate KD coming over so much?
Well, first, who goes to join the team that came back 3-1 on them? That's such a soft move. And why are you going to join the first unanimous MVP? Steph Curry was the first. That means everybody voted Steph when they went to vote. That was the first time that's ever happened. And you go and join a 2-time MVP, 1-time unanimous. You go and join Klay Thompson and Draymond. Gosh. You went and joined the team that beat you. I've never seen that. Is so soft. And then you go and join a 2-time MVP, 1-time unanimous, the best shooting backcourt. The team that just won 73 games. That is weak as I've ever seen. They just knocked you out of the playoffs. I've never seen that. And it made it so unfair. It's freaking they had 4 All-Stars. And then they went and got Boogie, and they had their starting 5 was literally an All-Star team. I know LeBron had a big 3, but that wasn't the first time that there was already Ray Allen, Chris Bosh, and why did I say that? I meant Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce. There was already that big 3. There was already Tim Duncan, Mondo, and Tony Parker. There's been big 3s. A big 4, you're stretching it there. Come on. It was so weak. That's why I didn't like that. I'm glad he left.
I got the Warriors on that one. So this next one is a little bit different. It's a comparison of the same team, but it was a team that both of these years they were supposed to be good and ended up having really bad seasons. So this one is two. It's the same team in 2 different years that had really bad seasons. Not really bad, but it's not what they were supposed to do. Actually, it was really bad looking at these stats, but they were supposed to be better. So this is kind of a bad one. Which one would which is the less of two evils? The 73 76ers or the 2016 76ers? Now, if you need some stats, the 73 76ers were 8th in the Eastern Conference in their season. The 2016 76ers were 15th in the Eastern Conference. You got to remember back then that it was different. But anyways, listen to these teams' records. The 73 were 9 and 73. 2016 76ers 10 and 72. Now, who was on these teams? This was when Okafor was supposed to be like some type of stud. This was Nerlens Noel. This was Ish Smith, Jeremiah Grant. You need some 73 Sixers players? Okay. Kevin Lowry. Is that how you say that? Bill Bridges, Fred Carter. Essentially, both these teams were absolutely terrible.
I'm going to pay for the 2016 only because Okafor was there, and I actually think Okafor is still good.
I don't even know what team he's on.
Pelicans. I think Okafor is still pretty skilled.
Well, they went through those years of like they got like every big man they possibly could get, and then like they had no backcourt. It was just like they had like who'd they have at one time? They had Okafor, Embiid. Who was the other one?
And Noel.
Noel. I feel like they had somebody else. I feel like they had some other big dude back there. I don't know, but like I don't know what they were doing. But yeah, I'm gonna take 2016 as well. I just know those players better, and I think most people came out from the better of it. I don't really like Embiid, but he's really good now. You can't deny the facts. So he wasn't with him yet, but he ended up being a product of that trash team. You know what I'm saying? That trash team caused them to keep getting people like Embiid and eventually Simmons and things like that. So same pay on that one. We got the 72 Lakers, the 2010 Lakers. Now they both have NBA championships in this season. You need to know these players, or you got these players?
I'm good. I know.
Okay.
I'll pay for 2010.
Why? Because Paul Gasol.
You got that team. That team was pretty good. You had Kobe. You had Paul. Who was there? Artest was there. Who was there? Was Bynum there still? Bynum. Was Lamar still there? Lamar Odom might have still been there. Sasha Vujacic might have still been there. Yeah.
Yeah, Bynum. Artest, but Meta World Beast. Odom, Derek Fisher, Jordan Farmer, Vujacic, I can never pronounce his name. Shannon
Luke
Brown.
Walton was probably there.
Who?
Walton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that,
He only played in 29 games though.
it was when they had just faced the Celtics the year before, and the Celtics had beat them.
But I mean, you know who's on this 72 team too, though.
Yeah, we already did this one, didn't we?
I know. I'm just saying. They got Will. They got Jerry West.
Yeah, Jerry West could only win one championship.
Gale.
Gale's not even that fine.
Okay, that man was all about him a minute ago when he was going up against the Bulls. Oh my gosh. I got that. I got 2010 too. I was just making some debate. Okay. Take the same 72 Lakers against the 2016 Warriors. Now, remember, this is not your hated Warriors yet. Not too hated. But apparently this man don't like Goodrich anymore, so.
No, I don't know who they got to guard Will. Like, Will is literally going to eat somebody alive down there.
Chamberlain?
Yeah.
You don't think Boogie can get on that man? No, wait.
Huh?
Boogie wasn't even with them. Never mind. I was about to say, what am I talking about? Who is? You ain't think?
Draymond ain't doing nothing with Will.
Let's check the roster.
Bogey was still there because Will would eat Bogut too. Hey, no.
Oh, Bogut? You don't think Bogut?
Azuli was still there because he would eat Azuli.
Iguodala. Verja. No, I don't see. Oh yeah, Azili is there.
He eat Verja too. Wade killed Verja. Will would demolish him.
So this one you got the 72 Lakers.
I might.
I got the Warriors. If it makes a difference. Paying on the Warriors. That team was a safe bet. If you don't really know. Except for the fact that they didn't get the finals that year, but nonetheless. Who you got?
I picked the Lakers.
Oh, you picked them. Okay. I didn't realize it. Here's a tough Lakers one. You want the 2000 Lakers? Or you want the 2010 Lakers?
2000.
Really? Because that man was riding high on Paul Gasol a minute ago. You don't think Paul could match anything up against Shaq?
Shaq would eat that man alive.
Paul Gasol.
Shaq would eat that. Oh my god!
Every time this man plays what Paul or Mark on 2K, that man is loving him to death. That man is. Well, I'm eating. What's this fader? The only person who can do it better than that's the Dirtmeister. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's because I'm proud of Paul. But Shaq would eat that man alive.
Okay, so what if you had the Dirtmeister? Can Dirtmeister stop Shaq?
No. Have you seen how? Do you realize how freaking humongous Shaq was back then? In terms of like muscle. Oh my gosh, he would break Dirk in half. I just watched a clip. I just watched the highlights from 2002, maybe, when the Mavericks had the Lakers down by 30 points. 27 points in the fourth quarter. 30 points throughout the game. They had them down 27 points in the fourth, and the Lakers came back to win. It was against Dirk. That shows you right there. Dirk had Shaq was eating. Kobe was eating too.
So which Kobe would you take out of those 2 years, 2000, 2010? Because I know Shaq.
Ooh, 2010 might be a better Kobe.
Okay, does that outweigh the Shaq factor?
I think he can stop Shaq.
Because what he wouldn't be matched up with Shaq. Kobe,
young Kobe could guard old Kobe.
you gotta think about everybody.
I mean, what you want? I got Derek Fisher to guard you. Derek Fisher, okay, that's a wash.
Dang that man! Why that man killing that man? But look, don't you think Paul could like distract or do something, divert Shaq long enough that 2010 Kobe could do some work?
Yeah. We still got 2000 Kobe. That's Frody. We still got Frody.
Still got a different number, Kobe. Whatever number he was at that point, I don't even know. Well, he was still 8 at that point, wasn't he? Yeah. Well, I would just give it some beef. I'm picking 2002, but I'm assuming you got 2000 just because of Shaq himself.
Yeah.
Okay. We're finally going to insert a new team in here. The 81 Celtics, the 80 Lakers. They both have championships. Wait, you already answered?
Yeah.
What did you say for the people? That man mumbling over there.
Celtics.
Wow.
Old Larry Bird. Larry Legend.
What about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? What about Magic Johnson? What about?
Yeah, well then we got Robert Parrish and we got Kevin McHale.
And you got. Well, they had Archibald too, but Jamal Wilkes on the Lakers, Spencer Haywood.
Oh wow, yeah. I'll be taking Larry Legend.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Who's guarding him?
Robert Parrish. The devil? What do you mean who's guarding it? Robert Parrish? He's like 7'2".
All right. Well, I'll take the Celtics. Same year, two different teams. 87 Celtics, 87 Lakers. Now, this Celtics team lost in the finals. This Lakers team won the finals. So this is still Larry. This is still Kevin. This is still Parrish, Bill Walton.
Oh yeah, I can't. I gotta go with the Celtics because Jabbar's gotten older now.
They lost to this Lakers team in the finals, though.
Yeah, I'm taking the Celtics. We can't stop Larry Legend.
Kareem and Magic did.
Not really.
They won the finals over them.
Not really.
So, yes, they did.
Yeah. Not really, but
Michael Cooper on the Defensive Player of the Year for the Celtics or Lakers. He got Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I'm choosing the Celtics.
I'm going with the Lakers on that one because they won the title over the Celtics team.
Yeah, but what happened when you chose the Warriors over the Cavs?
What isn't?
Cavs. Oh, okay. Oh, I love using your logic. Yes.
Listen, my logic's different than your logic. It ain't gonna be the same logic now.
I use your own logic against you.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure if we went back, this man has not picked every team just because the same philosophy.
I did.
Okay, two more NBA champions here. which we've already used one. 2008 Boston Celtics. 2010 Lakers. They love putting the Celtics against the Lakers on you.
Give me.
You need these players. This is Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, I'm just Paul Gasol, Kobe Bryant. We already know this one. Ray Allen on the Celtics.
Give me.
Who else? Rajon Rondo on the Celtics. Kendrick Perkins on the Celtics.
I'll take the Coaster. I'll take LA. 2010. I'll pay for 2010 LA.
Really?
Pay for LA.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, give me the Celtics on that one. That's Kevin. That's Paul. Give me the Celtics on that one. Okay. One year apart. But yeah, 1 year apart here. Both NBA champions. 14 Spurs, 15 Warriors. I already know who you're going with on this one, probably.
14 Spurs, 15 Warriors. Yeah, okay, that's an easy pick. 14 Spurs, and that's not even because I don't even like. It's not because I don't like the Warriors either.
This was Finals MVP Kawhi that y'all killed me on because oh my gosh, I forgot during the video. Dang, one time I said that man ain't never. Y'all jumped down my throat. Dang, I forgot Kawhi had a finals. Give me a dang. Oh my gosh. That's Tony. That's Kawhi. That's literally everybody who's ever been on the Spurs ever. It's never changed.
The Warriors, they don't match up with that. Not at all.
But something happened within a year's time that the Warriors won the next one. What happened there? What happened to the 14 Spurs? Why weren't they the 15 Spurs?
To the 15 Spurs?
Why weren't they the 15 Spurs?
Well, you should think Tim Duncan got a year older. He was already old. Tony Parker got a year older. He was already old. Ginobili got a year older and lost more hair.
He just lost hair in that one spot. Some of these I'm picking off what I like better, and in that situation, I'm still picking the Spurs. I'm picking the Spurs team. Who you got now?
The Spurs.
Oh, you got the Spurs too. Okay. Now we're going to 2016. We got two more here. 2016, the team that went on to the finals by beating this other team in the Western Conference semis, but then they lost in the finals themselves, so it's a wash anyways. The 2016 Spurs and the 2016 Warriors. The Warriors beat the Spurs in the Western Conference semis, but then the Warriors went on to lose the finals. So.
I'll take the Spurs.
Why we go with these Spurs? Just like them better?
Yeah, I mean, the Spurs are far 15. And this is Kawhi. This is 2016, so Kawhi.
Yeah, defensive player of the year.
People are starting to talk about Kawhi now a lot.
Yeah, that's all NBA first team defensive player of the year. That's all Kawhi that year. All defensive 13. This is LaMarcus Aldridge too, with the Spurs.
Oh, that's right. Oh, for sure. Then I don't know why they didn't do it.
Same. I got the Spurs. And the last one. 2015 Warriors matched up against the 2016 Warriors. In 15, they won the title. In 16, they lost it.
I would say 26.
You are saying 2016, or you would say 2016?
I am paying on the 2016 Warriors.
I'm paying on the 2015 because that's the year they got the. That's the year that they didn't lose in the final. All right. Well, with that being said, there's a few NBA team comparisons, pass or pay, for you. And I think I'd say we're probably about 50-50. Yeah, I don't feel like going back and counting them, but we had a lot of the same, a lot of difference. So a lot more the same than I probably thought we would, honestly. Well, that'll be it for this week. Not too many topics on there, but some long topics. Lot of current events going on. Once again, stay tuned for next week. We're gonna have some wrestling news. Probably gonna have our all out predictions because all out will be that next Saturday, along with Georgia Bulldogs' first game of the season. Let's get it. Y'all got a game next week, Sims, or when do y'all start? It doesn't matter when you start. No, go ahead.
I haven't checked the schedule.
Georgia Bulldogs start next week. Hey, watch it live. SEC Network. And as for that,
was that the Vanderbilt? Somebody who plays Vanderbilt next week?
That's us, Georgia.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think I saw it when I was watching Miami. I was like, I guess I'll be going to Vanderbilt once.
Yeah, that's Georgia. All day.
I think Vandy's like a smart school. I think you got to be smart to go there.
Are they? I don't know.
That's what Skip always be saying. I think Vandy is really good at baseball too. I know they're a baseball school.
Well, with that being said, for Sims, I'm Stu. Listen to the podcast anytime, anywhere. The One Stop Shop podcast. We got all your news right here. All of it. All you could ever want. Listen, timestamps. Once again, timestamps in the description. We're going to be posting this. Hopefully it's going to be up, without any difficulty Sunday. Sunday. So thank you once again. Like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Sims, tell them bye.
I did not have sexual relations with that one.
That's a great way to end it. Oh gosh.